How do some people find success seemingly in all areas of life, while others struggle to pursue meaning and impact? What separates the world's greats from the rest of the pack? We believe the secret lies in thinking like an entrepreneur. Justin and I have spent the last decade meeting with thousands of the world's greats, from Mark Cuban to Carly Kloss, Oprah Winfrey to Shaquille O'Neal, and understanding what makes them tick. The secret is they are all thinking like entrepreneurs. But what most people don't realize, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to think like one. For these last 10 years, Justin and I have put together a playbook that can help all young people, students, professionals, and founders find success at work and in life by cultivating an entrepreneurial mindset. And today, we're going to share with you the 8 simple momentum steps for how you can start to put that into practice in your own life. First up, making relationships number 1.
Well, thank you everybody for having us. Making relationships number 1 was the beginning of Dylan and I's journey as young entrepreneurs. When we were both in high school, we were trying to think about how do we have the most success possible in our personal lives, in our relationships, in health, in well-being, and of course, in the area of business. And when we were in high school, we just didn't know so many people who were also asking these same questions. And given that life is so much about connections and building those interpersonal relationships, we knew the first step was for us to get out there. So we started cold calling and cold emailing and saying, hey, we're in high school, we're looking to meet any other people in the world who are thinking about life the way we are. And what we started to do is found people who were so excited about what they were doing. And we would say, hey, tell us, meet with us, let me buy you coffee, let's have a bagel, and let's talk about how you are approaching your life. And we started building all these relationships. And it was absolutely incredible. And it was rewarding for Dylan and I to start to get knowledge through the arena of building interpersonal connections.
Now that we had these relationships flowing, the next step, the second momentum core value, was to outwork others, to put in the work and bring this to life. For us, we had the $1 billion idea to host an event. If we could put the work in to bring together this community of young innovators and entrepreneurs, what would be possible? Fast forward, we actually were able to put off an event. Now, maybe the worst produced event of all time, but it did not matter because we put in the heart, the blood, the sweat, the tears. We got our family involved, spent a year convincing people to join us for the event. And that was the work that allowed us to really, for the first time, form a community and get in the game. It wasn't easy. It took a lot of effort, but that's how we made our dream possible.
The third step in our momentum methodology, our playbook for how do you develop this entrepreneurial mindset to have success wherever you are, in school, in politics and academics, in science and business, wherever you are, it's the same playbook. The third step is motivating yourself to grow just 1% each day. Now for Dylan and I, we hosted this event and it was a success in many ways and a total failure in many other ways. But the idea was that, okay, we're now in the game, we're moving, how do we just get a little bit better each day? And the math is pretty simple. If every day we get a little bit better, we start to get this exponential curve, this compounding of success. So our next big idea after we had the event, Dylan and I, huge brainiacs over here, we got together and we said our next $1 billion innovation, we should start a Facebook group. It was one of the biggest ideas of all time, but it was 1% better. So we started the Facebook group. We said, anybody who came to the event, anybody who just have heard about us, let's all get together. We had the relationships and get in Facebook so we can start to help each other.
So now that we had this Facebook group, we basically were able to retire as billionaires because we had built it all, right? Wrong. We had just gotten started with that 1% growth. Now, we were not the only Facebook group out there in the community. We were actually one of millions probably. So we said, we can't just do what everybody else expects us to do. No, we have to exceed expectations. And that is the fourth core value in momentum. Exceed expectations. For us, that meant responding to and replying to every single comment that came in the group. A few years later, before we made our first full-time hire of a community manager, Justin and I did the math, and in 4 years' time, we had responded to 20,000 comments individually. What that looks like on a day-to-day basis was being addicted to our phones. Whether in class or maybe under the dinner table, we'd be on Facebook responding, Friends would tell us, stop texting. We said, no, we're working. We're exceeding expectations, because you cannot do what others expect you to if you expect to have extreme results in life. No matter what you are chasing, as a student, as an entrepreneur, as a professional, if you do these same inputs, you will receive these same outputs. We did not want to be the average ones. We wanted to exceed our results, and that took exceeding expectations from the start.
So we're a few years into our journey, and we're starting to piece together this momentum methodology. How do you think like an entrepreneur to have success at work and have success at your life? And we get to the N in momentum, which stands for never stop learning. The big idea is that as you get in the game and as you go, you're going to be shown new data, and you're going to have new experiences that are going to inform where you should go next. You want to, of course, make the best decision you can in this moment. But as you get to the next moment, you're going to be smarter. And when you know better, you got to do better. So Dylan and I started seeing from this Facebook group, from this event, from the story of NextGen unfolding, people really liked the opportunities that we were able to share with our community. We were finding speaking gigs and press and internships and full-time jobs that we were just curating for the network that was slowly unfolding and starting to build. So N, never stop learning, we said, hey, how are other people starting to curate opportunities throughout a network or throughout a community? So we had our next innovation, which was another billion-dollar idea. We started a newsletter on top of the Facebook group, on top of the event. And this newsletter every week for now 10 years later, but at the beginning, 1 Monday, 2 Monday, 3 Monday, we would share opportunities. And then we would learn and look at the data every week and say, hey, this opportunity got a lot of clicks. People really love this one. People are reaching out about this one. And then we started to iterate and add more. So the N, never stop learning, is when you're in the game, open your eyes and pay attention to the experiences and the data, and don't be afraid to pivot and to adjust course. So the story kept unfolding, and the story continues.
As we got in the game, we were applying these 1% improvements, exceeding expectations, making relationships number one, putting in the work. We're learning every single day. We bring it together by taking complete ownership, the T in momentum. Taking complete ownership means that the buck stops with me. I know that I want to bet on myself. I want to bet on Justin, myself, our team to get it done. We don't want to put our fate in the world. And so for us, that meant to build a team, build an organization that we could power through together. That we said, we know the next generation needs some help to think like an entrepreneur, to achieve success at work and in life. Let's take that responsibility ourselves. That also means that when things go wrong, we take the full responsibility. It's not just when the good of life hits you. Sure, you get to celebrate those wins, but also look at any failure as an opportunity to get better. We welcome that data point. We welcome whatever the outcome is, knowing that it will help influence and grow for the future. Taking complete ownership is a way to live life, and while daunting when you first hear it, it actually is rather freeing, knowing that it's up to us. Our success, what we want in life, our goals, our dreams, our mission, that's on our shoulders. And I want to bet on us every single day.
When you're thinking like an entrepreneur, you're in the game, you're taking ownership, you're building relationships. If you don't understand your why, really understand at the core why you're doing what you're doing, when roadblocks hit you, you're not going to understand how to react. So the U in momentum, in this playbook of how do you think like an entrepreneur to get what you want, to have success at work and at life, is to really understand your why. Dylan and I knew really deep down what we wanted to be doing and building with our business. Regardless of if we were using events or Facebook groups or newsletters, and eventually we added other products and services, at the core, we knew we wanted to help young people find success at work and at life. And we knew the big idea of what we were building was that you can have momentum in your journey, in your life, if you think like an entrepreneur. So when COVID hit and we had to react and pivot in our business and think about how do we get to the next level, we were able to see big opportunities and take advantage of a rising tide because we understood the why of what we were doing. We knew our mission to the core of helping young people. So now if the world goes online and we can't do events, well, maybe we can get together and say, how can we now use this opportunity to reach 1 billion new young people who we otherwise wouldn't have been able to reach before? So when you're thinking like an entrepreneur, regardless of where you are in your life, you want to understand who you are, what you value, and why you're on the mission that you're on. You're going to be working really hard. You want to know deep down, are you climbing the right mountain and where are you aiming in the end of the day?
Now that you have your compass pointed, you're taking ownership, you're following the first 7 momentum core principles, the final one brings it all together. The last M, make it about the long game and enjoy the journey. Justin and I have been doing this for a decade now, and we hope to for a long, long time to come. The longest game that we'll play, it's not the sales call. It's not that one-off event. It's our lives. And we want to build a meaningful, impactful, fulfilling life. When we make decisions, when you think about your ultimate vision for your life, you don't want to win today. You want to win over that entire duration. That means taking a long-range approach and not letting the day-to-day sacrifice what you know to be true, your integrity, your own core values. And it's also important to enjoy that process. We need to have fun. We need to live that journey every single day. There's no making it for us. At NextGen HQ, that manifests every day. We get up, we say TGIM, thank goodness it's Monday, because we get to do this. We choose every single day to live the life of our dreams, to enjoy the process, to trust that we are on a journey and that we are making it in the now.
So Dylan and I are in the game. We've been in the game for 10 years now. We're having a great time. We're building and we're learning, and every day we're trying to help young people, the next generation, develop this entrepreneurial mindset so they can really have some momentum and win at work and win at life. Now that you've taken this playbook, this methodology, and you're going to apply it to your own life, whether you're 13 or 23 or 33 or 43, whether you're not sure what you want to do with your life, or you have an internship, or you have a job, or you're in your career, regardless of where you are, you can develop this entrepreneurial mindset to go. But it starts with just getting started. If you're not in the game, you're going to have no shot. But if you're in the game, you're on our team, and we'd love to hear your story, because all of us are creating our own futures together, and that's what thinking like an entrepreneur is all about. So we wish you only the best of luck. Develop that entrepreneurial mindset, get in the game, and as we like to say, if you do that, now that's momentum. Thanks for having us here, and we look forward to hopefully meeting everybody in person soon.